Yo, yo, yo. Whoa. What's up, guys? Happy Monday, I hope. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? How are you? How are you? Yo. Oh, okay, what's up, Kayla? Yo. Keep grinding. You keep grinding. I hope you're feeling better. It's good to see you, friendo. I do hope you're feeling better, though. I know yesterday was a bit rough for you. It's good to see you. Yeah. You keep grinding, my friend. Hopefully we'll see you later, okay? Yeah, thanks for stopping by on your break. Remember when you couldn't even beat Hollow Knight? Remember that? Good, Kayla, I'm glad. Remember? Yeah. I do remember whenever I pooped on the trailer for Hi-Fi Rush too. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, tomorrow off. There you go, man. That's something to work for. Pinky did. You beat that off stream? Yeah, right, bro. Yeah, maybe Pinky did that for you off stream. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. What's up, guys? Wick, you're such a troll, bro. What a troll, dude. Oh, God. Whiskey, what's up, my friend? How you doing? All right, guys, we got day 2 of Hi-Fi Rush. Yes, I was not thrilled about seeing this game, but look, I talked about it yesterday before we jumped into the news segment and before we start playing the game. I was wrong, man. I'll admit that. I was wrong. I've been a bit jaded by Tango and not seeing the Evil Within 3. I love the Evil Within game. Got my son off to school. There you go. So, it skewed my ability to really maybe see the game for what it could have been, because I've been anticipating or I guess wanting the Evil Within 3 so much. And the fact of the matter is, Tango is making good games, and that's all that really matters. You know, again, we see developers that 10 win ripped on it too. Yeah, neither one. I'll tell you what, dude, most people hanging out in our channel while we watched the Xbox Bethesda showcase did not seem to think that it looked very good. But again, that's one of those things that, like, judging a book by its cover isn't necessarily the way to go, you know? So it just proves that, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm willing to bet that the reception of the game itself and how much love it's getting already, it's probably going to win some awards this year. You know, I said that before I even played it, just because of how well received the game had been already to that point. Probably end up winning some awards this year, which is one of the reasons I was like, dude, it's being so highly regarded already, and we have a couple of days to spare here before we jump into Superfuse. I needed to try it out, you know, so that's why we're in it, man. And it feels good. Yeah, I do like it. And you know, you can't really hate on the fact that a developer is stepping outside the box of what they're known for and continuing to produce high quality content, man. That's what you want. Yeah, Kayla. Keep grinding. Working for that day off tomorrow. Yeah, all right. We'll see you later. So, I will admit when I'm wrong. Absolutely. And my initial impression of the game based off the trailer was absolutely incorrect. No doubt about it. So, we'll be doing day 2 today. And who knows, we might get in the game today. I don't know. We might finish up the game first thing tomorrow. Either way, we will be starting Superfuse tomorrow, as long as it continues to release in early access. But that's our plan. That's our play. That's what we're going to try to do. So, good to see you guys. Happy Monday, I hope, anyways. I got a stun locked by an eyelash right now, I think. So let's go ahead and do what we do, right, Wick? Let's do what we do, and let's get into this video gaming news segment so we can see what's going on in the world of video games before we jump into our gaming content, all right? Let's good to see everybody. Glad you're here. Let's go. By the way, we're listening to Crypt of the Necro Dancer this morning. Another rhythm-based game. God. Ow, I got jacked up. Dude, I can't get it out of there either. Oh, no. Rhythm-based adventure game. RPG title. The iconic rhythm-based game. And it's got an amazing, extensive soundtrack. So, in my opinion anyways, if you're enjoying the music, go check out the OST, the soundtrack, and if you're into rhythm-based games, this is definitely one you should be looking into, okay? Let's go. Let's kill the music for now. See what we got going on in the news. Cool. Hope everybody's got their beverage of choice. I'll be slurping that coffee like always. Thank you, Hi-Fi Rush, for sparing us from video game marketing. Yeah. I mean, I actually put this in our Discord last night. Tinwin, another person that was, Tinwin and I are both very, very familiar with Tango games. And neither one of us looked at Hi-Fi Rush at being something we were interested in and thought that it looked very good on the trailer. But he played it. He loves it. We were having a discussion on Discord last night about it. And one of the things I stated was like how refreshing it is to see a game that had shadow dropped, to be this good and cost not even half of what AAA titles are costing nowadays. It's pretty incredible. So I continue to be impressed. I think a lot of the gaming world does. And again, I think it's a lesson for myself. I think it should be a lesson for anybody else that hangs out in this community that maybe we just shouldn't be so quick to judge things by our initial perception of them, yeah? Well, the base edition is $30. The deluxe edition's $40. But you can get the base edition for $25. It's already on sale on like Green Man Gaming and Fanatical. So you can get the base edition base game for $25 right now. You can also play it for free on Game Pass, man. Yeah. So if you've got Game Pass, it's free, right? And from what Timwin was telling me last night, I'm not in-game yet, but from what Timwin was telling me last night, there is an amount of stuff that you can continue to grind and play for in the in-game. Game Pass killing the game? Why do you say that? Why would you say that? Oh, Game Pass killing it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this is the big thing that I talk about all the time. The big difference between, for me, the big difference between what would be the two major platform subscription services at this point, being Game Pass and PS Plus, is PS Plus won't release their content day one. You know, Game Pass will. It's a big difference. Are you going to pay a little bit more for Game Pass in like an annual subscription? Yeah. Yep, you will. But you're also getting every single game that they release for Xbox as a day one Game Pass. Every single proprietary game for Xbox comes to Game Pass day one as well. That's a big deal, man. Game Pass killing, dude. It finally got me to buy in to Game Pass to play it. I've never had Game Pass, but that's one of those things I talked about in depth yesterday. Is like for people to weigh the if you're thinking about playing a game and it's on Game Pass, as well. Is it worth you spending the amount of money it would cost to buy it outright? Are you going to be playing enough of it that it's worth having it in your library, or should you just buy Game Pass for a month or two? Get a subscription for a month or two of Game Pass, play that game, maybe a couple of other games, get some nice quality gaming time out of Game Pass, and then be done with it until something else comes out. It's Game Pass. You know what I mean? It's a great subscription service, dude. I agree. I think we've talked about this. I'll go back over it. That way, anybody that has Amazon Prime will be able to know what they're going to get out of Prime for February, because we're like 2 days away. So I'll keep reiterating to people what they can get out of their Prime gaming subscriptions, okay? I think we've hit this as well, but we'll hit on what's coming to PlayStation Plus also. Epic Games' Rumbleverse is reportedly shutting down soon. Really? Interesting. Must not be enough people playing it, dude. I did click it. I did click it. Shut up. It's right here. Click it. What? Why? Click it. I did click it. Shush. We'll go over it. Intel is having a very bad time. That's because I'm not going over the articles yet. We're picking out our articles first. Stop it. You know how this works. Quit trolling me. Fortnite delays highly anticipated feature. We'll put that with the. We'll make sure to go over the Rumbleverse stuff last this morning, okay? How about that? Capcom says it's set to sell a record number of games for a fiscal year. Looks like they're expecting to have sold more than 40 million units by April, which would be the March 31st marks the end of the 2022 fiscal year, right? And with them coming out with Resident Evil 4 remake, they're going to sell a lot more, and we'll see. But they're doing very well. I'm anticipating one of their games coming out this year, not RE4. It's the what's the name of the game? You got the exosuits and the dinosaurs are like falling out of portals or whatever. That looks cool. Oh my god, dude. You are my special mod. You're my special little mod. Yes, you are. Look at you. Here, I got you, Doug. You're such a special boy. You're so special. Xbox rumor suggests Redfall is in rough shape. SpongeBob Cosmic Shake release date. See when that's popping off. We've already seen a trailer for it previously. What was it? The Game Awards, maybe the end of the year. All right. Let's go look at our other search real quick. Dude, I've got a Schoolboy Q song stuck in my head, bro. It's just like, it's a banger too, man. I just can't stop. You ever heard the song Crash by Schoolboy Q? Doc, I can't get enough of that song right now. It's just always in my head. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Yeah, Capcom's doing well, man. While Koei Tecmo is declining quarterly financial results. Spider-Man Spider-Man 2 PS5 ad confirmed spring release date. All right. Hold on, dude. Wait, what? I had a meltdown coming home to my husband's present. Wait, what? What is this? What is this, bro? I can't afford to put petrol in my car. He bought a new gaming console. Ah! I'm gonna read that, dude. I'm gonna read that. Kaiko Games working on new original high-profile THQ title. Okay. Marvel Spider-Man 2 live-action trailer revealed. Hold on. Let's take a look at that. There we go. Star Citizens developers discuss upcoming major Alpha 3 update. I cannot believe, dude, that people are still supporting this game. What an absolutely asinine thing here. Over $500 million raised for this game so far. And it was supposed to full release in 2014, and it still only has playable modules. It's insane. I don't know how people see this as like an okay thing and continue to buy into it. It's nuts, dude. Yeah, the Horizon Forbidden West multiplayer leaks with cartoony art. This is so I had some issues with we watched. It was really old, so I was Farrah, what's up, buddy? It was really old. There was some video day before yesterday, the 28th, in the news segment. There was some video we came across. We're talking like 2.5 to 3 years old. It was some video that was apparently of some old development of potential Horizon Forbidden West multiplayer development stuff, and we watched it. I got nailed for it. my content as I exported it to YouTube got hit for copyright. I had to edit all the stuff out of it. I just took the news segment and the entire VOD from that day. I took the gaming content. I highlighted the gaming content out of the VOD for that day, so the gaming content's there, which is like the alternate ending to The Forest and the ending for Yoku's Island. So that's all. Those are highlights on the Twitch channel. You can find that stuff there. But the entire VOD and the highlighted news segment is not public, and that's because I noticed whenever I exported my news segment to YouTube, it got hit for big copyright stuff because of that. So I had to edit it out. And it's at least on it's finally up on the YouTube channel. So if you missed out on the 28th edition of Video Gaming News, it's up there now, along with the 29th from yesterday. It just took a while because I had to get that entire piece of content edited out. They did not like that somebody had found that or gotten that video and shared it on the internet. But it was very, very old. It was very unpolished and stuff too. So I don't know. It wasn't that big of a show of what they were doing. And again, it's 2.5 years old, man. It's not like any kind of significant telltale sign about what you're going to see and what they're bringing to the table for their multiplayer experience, But, they still didn't like it, so. We saw it. It's not a big deal. It's really not going to be indicative of what we're probably going to see as a final product. Maybe slightly, but not in big part, New Ashes of Creation gameplay is all about tanks, okay? What video? So, it'll be the January 28th edition of Video Gaming News. I'll link it for you. This one had to be posted late. Yeah, this one had to be posted late. It was, it's up there. It's been up there since last night, and people have seen it. But it got posted about a day late because I had to edit it a bit extensively, more than I normally do for the video gaming news segments to be put on YouTube. But here, let me get the. I'll share this real quick. It'll be this one. And it's at just over an hour into this video. You'll see where it cuts out the video of the Horizon multiplayer stuff that got leaked. It cuts that out, but it's this. So that's the news segment from the 28th. It got posted about a day late for us. And if you look at about just over an hour into that, there you'll see me start talking about an article regarding some multiplayer content or the Horizon Forbidden or the Horizon multiplayer content that got leaked, but it's like from 2020, and you'll notice that it cuts out the entire video. Because it got hit for copyright stuff. It got taken down online. So it took me a while to get it put up. For Horizon, right. Horizon. Their multiplayer stuff their multiplayer stuff is basically like, they've talked for years about putting multiplayer as like a side piece into their main titles. And they finally decided, like, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the multiplayer game its own standalone title, right? And now we've gotten a bit of leaked video of some of the development of that stuff, but it's from like back in 2020. We watched it on that day, and it got hit. I even talk about, you'll see that if you watch that part of that news segment, I go, we're gonna watch this. It could be bad, but we'll watch it anyways. And sure enough, dude, I ended up having to edit it all the video out of it. It was pretty rough stuff too. It wasn't. It doesn't even really look like. Besides some of the like mechanical animals and stuff in it, it doesn't even look like Horizon, dude. Yeah, I know, but that's why quite often in the news I'll avoid some stuff that I'm pretty sure will get hit for copyright. But that was so old. It was like 2.5 years old at least. And I knew it had leaked though, and I was like, yeah, there's still the potential for this to get caught and be want it to be taken down, and so I kind of risked the biscuit there. I knew that it couldn't, result in me having to do some extra work on my side and having to cut some of that content out, and it did. But at least we got to watch it initially and see, what it was. Here's the thing for me. I'm not a real big, proponent of like leaked info for games. People like hacking developers and stealing info about games. I feel like it forces developers' hands. Yeah. Well, and that's why I hadn't been hit for anything on Twitch, which is why I made anything on Twitch that had that content in it. I just took it down. You know what I mean? I highlighted out the gaming content out of that VOD, and then I just took everything else down. I made it not public so people can't watch it anymore. Just got ahead of the game. So I didn't get hit with anything on Twitch. It was just on YouTube. They were just like, you can't make this public because this content got auto tagged as like copyright, and the creator of this content or the owner of this content won't let it be made public. So that right there was an indicator to me I needed to go ahead and edit out the YouTube video, or I had to make it public. So I did that, and it was an indicator to me that I needed to go ahead and protect myself to the best of my ability on Twitch and make the content unavailable to people moving forward. So I don't know. I did the best I could do. It is what it is. I'm not a big proponent of, like the GTA 6 leak, stuff like that, like where somebody hacked Rockstar and stole all that info, stole the source code, and leaked all that stuff out. I'm not a big advocate for that. I don't necessarily like that. The thing that's hard is that it's hard to tell sometimes initially when you see this leaked info. Is it in fact somebody that like got into the system and grabbed that stuff, or is it the developer themselves that are trying to like build up a hype train? It's hard to discern which of those it is, because developers are always trying to find ways to build up the hype train, and they don't always want to make it seem like it's just them releasing it. They want to. Sometimes they actually want to make it seem like it wasn't them that released this information. It makes it a bit more hyped for the gaming community. And my thing is always about trying to, really establish better relationships. Was it truly leaked, right? And it's hard for me to discern that sometimes. I think it is for all of us. I mean, for me, I'm always about trying to harbor better relationships between ourselves as lovers of video games and the developers, because the better relationship we have, I think the better it is for us moving forward. Better lines of communication. They will listen to us more on feedback, incorporate more of what we want to see in titles moving forward, try to produce better content for us. I mean, that's my hope anyways. Give us roadmaps for what they're trying to do for us in the games that we love, especially live service games, things like that. And the same is true the other way around. It's like, if we have good relationships, they're more willing to give us information about what is happening with the games that they are developing and things of that nature, right? But I think that whenever things happen where people outside of the company actually are infiltrating and being malicious and stealing information, it pushes a developer's hand. and it kind of puts them in a corner where they feel like, well, now we've got to talk about this. Now we have to release information on this title. And it makes them more reluctant to actually want to communicate with us as a community as a whole. And it's because of a few people. Let's be honest. It's not because of the majority of us as gamers. It's because there's a few of us that can't just be cool about stuff and are always trying to like get information you're not supposed to have your hands on, right? And then they go leak it to everybody or whatever. It's a bad situation. So I don't always care to dive in. Like I saw the Rockstar stuff initially, and then I kind of like stayed away from it because I was like, dude, this looks like bad stuff. It's not healthy for us and Rockstar's relationship and things like that. We looked at it initially, but because I almost didn't believe it. But like with this, I mean, this was 2.5-year-old stuff, and it was like, is this a big deal? It didn't seem like it, but apparently they didn't want it out there, so that's kind of what happened. Thrill and notoriety, or even ransoming stuff. We just saw that with Riot, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely, a lot of hackers, yeah, they enjoy the, it's a rush for them, right? Especially if they've got some kind of a particular vendetta against a particular developer, right? Then they want to see what they can do about taking them down. Yeah? So it's hackers have a mindset quite often that's like that. It's like, what can I do? Can I get them? Can they be a notch in my belt, right? And they want to make them look bad or whatever if they've got some kind of weird vendetta against them. Yeah, you're not wrong, Ferret, for sure. But again, overall, the way I feel about it is that that just hurts the relationship between us as the consumer and gaming enthusiasts as a whole, harboring a good relationship between them as the developer. It's just not good for us moving forward. It sucks. It really shuts off lines of communication and things like that. It's usually pretty bad. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know. I know. Yep. Yeah, and I'm not saying this as a means of thinking that it's going to sway any of those types of individuals from doing that kind of thing, because they do have a different kind of mindset about things quite often. But it's just trying to bring the way I see the situation as a whole and what it does to really hurt the relationship between us and developers to the forefront of the community. So people that see this leaked content all the time can maybe take a step back when they see the leaks and go, maybe it's not worth diving into this. You know what I mean? Because the more that people do that, the more it does give clout to those people that are malicious actors and were the ones that performed those actions. Let's stick with this. See what we got. Uh Ashes of Creation. Dude, I haven't seen anything on Ashes of Creation in a minute. But Ashes of Creation, if you don't know, is um, it's an MMO RPG that has been in development for a hot minute. They had what was it, like an alpha or a beta? Dude, wasn't it like $100 to get in on that though? A while back. I think it was like $100 to get in on this like alpha or beta test or something. It was something kind of wild. Um, I want to say it was like maybe at the end of 2021, maybe a little bit before that even. I haven't seen anything on this in a while though. Ashes of Creation is certainly among the most promising MMORPGs in the pipeline, and Intrepid Studios released a new gameplay video as the developer heads toward the second alpha test for the game. This time around, we get to take an extended look at what the game will offer to those who enjoy playing tanks like yours truly. And protecting your companions If protecting your companions and being an impenetrable wall in front of your enemies is your thing, Ashes of Creation certainly appears to have a lot to offer. There's also a lot to see, as the video is nearly 50-minute long and also comes with plenty of commentary from the developers explaining what we're seeing, led by creative director Stephen Sheriff. The video showcases battles against some rather tanky undead enemies, culminating in a pitched boss battle against Lord Oakenbane. After the battle, we also get a preview of the armor he drops, which unsurprisingly is themed after an oak tree and looks pretty spiffy. That's dope. Incidentally, the video, which you can check out below, was originally aired as part of a live stream, which you can watch in its entirety. It also provides a look at a brand new character art, including new monsters, gear, and hairstyles for the orc-like Vec race. This is the... Yo, we might watch this before we start playing games today. You guys want to watch this? I'm kind of interested. We might watch this entire thing. It's not something that I care to take up the news segment with, you know. Oh no. Well, you don't really count because all you do is troll, and I can't ever tell if you're being serious or not. So, talk about the boy who cried wolf, dude. It's literally you, the troll who cried, "Oh no." You know what I mean? But we might watch at least part of this. I don't care to watch like any of the... I just want to see some of the gameplay stuff. So we might watch a little bit of this in between the news segment and starting up the gaming stuff today, okay? Ashes of Creation has been in development for quite some time following a successful Kickstarter campaign in 2017, gathering nearly 3.3 million from almost 20,000 users. Alpha 2 is supposed to have most of the game systems and features in place for players to test, but it doesn't have a firm date yet. Hopefully this promising game will live up to its lofty ambitions, and you can expect more coverage in the future here on Tech Raptor. All right, I'm gonna keep that up. Kaiko Games working on new original high-profile THQ Nordic IP. The developers of Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning are hiring for an original game based on a high-profile THQ Nordic IP. German game development studio Kaiko Games has recently opened several job positions in its team as it sets to work on an original game based on a high-profile THQ Nordic IP in the action-adventure genre. As spotted by a user on the Reddit Game Leaks and Rumors subreddit on 29 January, the company has listed positions for senior-level designers, graphics programmers, game programmers, tools and technology programmers, lead artists, technical animators, and technical artists. The company joined the THQ Nordic Group in 2021, a leading game publisher behind acclaimed titles like Darksiders Red Faction, Kingdoms of Amalur, and more, but has predominantly worked on remastering these THQ Nordic IPs. However, it appears Kaiko will collaborate with talented people from the company to bring an entirely new project to life. This comes after the listing specified that successful candidates would work on an original game, suggesting that the new IP will not be remastered versions of any of the formerly mentioned THQ-owned properties. While Kaiko Games has not yet released the name of its new project, fans of THQ Nordic IPs are eagerly waiting to find out what the company has in store. As noted by the original poster, Potato Slayer, what a name, given Kaiko Games' level of support for Amalur, as well as the writing that they are hiring for a high-profile THQ Nordic IP, these job listings could point to another game under the Amalur IP, perhaps a sequel. That's just speculation, but it's possible. Who knows? Considering the company's latest remaster, Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning in 2020, was met with mixed reviews, it's only natural that fans hope for its new project to live up to the expectations set by its previous titles and the THQ Nordic franchises. Overall, this news is a positive development for both Kaiko Games and THQ Nordic and sets the stage for a new and exciting action-adventure game that fans will surely be excited to play. That said, Kaiko Games is committed to creating an inclusive work environment and encourages applicants from diverse backgrounds to apply for its open positions. The company states that even if there is no open position that fits an applicant's qualifications, they can still send an unsolicited application. The company's goal is to bring together a team of talented individuals from different backgrounds to create an original and unforgettable game experience. Cool. Well, I've heard people have had a pretty decent time, actually, in Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. I've heard that. Not that it's like going to blow you away, but entertaining enough. So we'll see what's coming from Kaiko Games and THQ Nordic, okay? Xbox rumors suggest Redfall is in rough shape. Huh. A few days ago, on the 25th, Xbox and Bethesda released a developer direct focused on several 2023 games, one of which we are playing right now and will be playing after the news segment here, Hi-Fi Rush, which is getting rave reviews and is being praised for it being a fantastic experience. It was a shadow drop. Nobody knew this game was coming, and it's been great so far. It really has. One of the games featured was Redfall, an upcoming first-person shooter pitting players against vampire opponents. While the game generated a lot of hype, a new rumor suggests Redfall might not be in the best shape. The rumor comes from a source for a Reset-era poster by the name of Horns. Prior to the show, Horns correctly stated that Tango Gameworks should be putting out something you can play later today, which turned out to be a full release for Hi-Fi Rush. As such, this source seems to have a bit of credibility. Quote, so MS lost tons and tons of money on Azure this fiscal year. They're asking all divisions to blunt the loss. One thing Microsoft has floated for Xbox is releasing Starfield before fiscal year, aka June 2023. Redfall is coming first and is in rough shape still, and probably should use more quality control, but it's still in better shape than Starfield, the post from Horns reads. Bethesda wants more time with Starfield, and if they get their way, Starfield will come in the fall. If Microsoft gets their way, it comes out in this fiscal year. If Starfield comes in June, expect it to be in rough shape. Yep. I mean, yeah, Forspoken does not look good, but again, I mean, that's one of those things we talk about a lot. What's up, Tim Wynn? How you doing, buddy? Forspoken, I've hit on this a lot recently. You take a game like Forspoken that had a few delays and had some other things going on through the development process to me that were key indicators to stay away from that game on release. And now you look at its release and I feel pretty, feels pretty good to have been right on that front. I think it was good to kind of advise people to maybe take a step back and wait and see what Forspoken was going to be like. There's no way I was going to dive into it right away. And then you take a game like, even from a developer like mode of EA, that I'm not an EA fan, but I never saw anything in the development process with Dead Space Remake that made me hesitate. I mean, honestly, and this isn't always going to be the case, but there are usually some pretty good key indicators that there's something wrong with a game's development. And delays can be a very good thing for developers and publishers, to make sure a game's in a good state. But multiple delays are usually a pretty good indicator that there's something terribly wrong going on. And that's one of the big ones right there. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now almost, where I look at all this stuff that happens in the development of high-profile games that try to get hyped up, and it usually pans out the way that I expect it to. Not always, but usually, these big games like Forspoken that show some key indicators of some issues going on, and then they come out and sure enough, they're not in a great state. Everything's going to be a bit subjective, and everybody's going to have their own respective opinion of their experience with a game. But overall, Forspoken not doing very well. And then you look at something like Dead Space Remake, and it's kind of killing it. I never saw anything in that development process. So on the AAA front of games that were kind of being hyped up, there's a big difference between those two kinds of situations there. And yeah, I mean, the difference being between Hi-Fi Rush is there was no hype. This is a shadow drop situation. Tango and Microsoft, nobody knew anything really about this game coming to us. There was no hype around it, right? Which is actually really refreshing as well. Not hyping a game up, having it drop at about half the price point, if not less than half the price point of a AAA game, and it to be just an absolute pleasure to play, even though both of us, Tinwin, were absolutely wrong in our impressions of what the game was going to be and feel like in that first in the showcase. When we watched that, I know that both of us were like, "Oh man, no," you know. And I've admitted many times now at this point that I was wrong. And yeah, yep. I don't feel like they highlighted exactly what the to me, anyways. But I was also jaded. I will admit the fact that I was jaded. It wasn't Evil Within 3. But again, it's important, I think, to not judge a game by its your first impressions of maybe what a it looks like. And thankfully, there were enough other people that saw the game and thought that it was going to be worth a try, and showed everybody that it's a great experience, right? And swayed me into giving it a try, and I'm loving it right now. For now, Xbox owners looking forward to Redfall will just have to wait and see. Redfall is set to release May 2nd on the Xbox Series X, S, and PC. In the meantime, readers can check out our previous coverage of the game right here. Look, I am not hyped about Redfall. The only thing I'm not even hyped about Starfield. The only thing I anticipate about Bethesda games is seeing the state of them on release. Redfall is not. Yeah, there are people that are hyped about both. There are people that are hyped about both. Look, I mean, this is the thing. There are people that are big fans of Bethesda, just like there are people that are big fans of From Software, just like there are people that are big fans of Capcom, or what have you, dude. So, it's. I think the issue that the situation people get themselves caught up in is they get so blinded. They get so blinded by just being such a diehard fan of or Blizzard or whatever you want to call whatever developer. They get so blinded by the games that they fell in love with in the past that it's hard for them to see what some of these companies have turned into currently, right? And so they continue to get hyped, and it's like they don't care. They're still gonna buy it on release. They're gonna feed the machine, dude. Even though the machine has turned into something not good. And that's why I try to get people to maybe take take a critical look at who these developers have become to an extent. And look, Bethesda almost always has issues on release for their games. Their games tend to always be buggy, right? Let's be real. Good old Hod Tower, it just works. Does it though? Does it? So look, there's a reason why both of these games have gotten delayed, and we're getting info on the front that I had even seen stuff about Starfield before it got its initial delay that it was in a pretty abysmal state, especially with the space flight and stuff. And dude, a game like that is touting space exploration as a key component. People love space games. But if you've got a game based around space exploration and flying around in space feels terrible, it's gonna flop, dude. People are gonna hate it. And Redfall does not look good to me. It looks very cloney. It looks old too. It doesn't look very good. But again, I mean, we've been shown here recently that just because of what I'm seeing and something doesn't mean I'm absolutely right either. And that's just my impression. There are other people that are pretty hyped about these games. I think what I have talked about is indicators in development processes that show that maybe certain titles are going to be a bit sketchy on release. I'm not buying into either of these, not just because of what I've seen in the development process of these titles, particularly from Bethesda, but because of the track record of Bethesda. Bethesda has a history now of being having some pretty rough releases and buggy games and things like that. And my anticipation here is just to see what the state of these games are going to be like when they release. That's it. I'm not hyped about either one of these games necessarily. If I was going to be hyped over one over the other, it'd definitely be Starfield over Redfall. And look, I'm a vampire fan, dude. I love vampires. So I don't know. To each their own. But I would, there's a lot of warnings out there nowadays in the gaming industry about buying into pre-purchasing and things like that, and I think rightfully so. I think that it's appropriate for people to be weary about buying into games, pre-ordering and things like that. So with the issues that we've seen and heard coming out of Bethesda and Microsoft in regards to these games so far, I think there's due concern here. And I would prompt people to just maybe wait until these games release and see what they're going to be like before you decide to put your money into these baskets, okay? And understand this. I only ever want good games to be released. I don't hope a developer makes bad games. I don't. I want games to always be good. But the reality of the situation is we know that that's not the case, right? It happens all too often where we get games that release that are hyped up to provide certain things or whatever, and we've been jaded by it, right? So it's put us in a very cynical kind of position about being able to trust developers in releasing content that they promise to bring to us nowadays. So I always want games to feel very good on release and to bring us what they promise. But the fact of the matter is, I don't trust most developers to do that anymore. SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake release date, gameplay, trailer, and story. Follow SpongeBob and Patrick on a new adventure. Here are the details for SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake, from its release date to its gameplay and here we go. THQ Nordic.
I'm ready.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Madame Cassandra, purveyor of long-lost treasures of the seven seas. For those on a budget. Magic bubbled soap. Breathe life into your dreams.
Wow, it's like I'm in a real karate place.
No, Madam Cassandra. We were just having fun, but we accidentally used too much of your magic.
Dude, I had a
bubbles
Venus
over
fly
this
trap for a little bit as a kid.
Find the portal that suits your costume.
Cool plants.
Once you have located your friends, you can use the magic bubble wand to return them home.
Just call me SpongeBob Swing Pants.
Looks pretty, dude.
Now that's talent.
Costume change.
I mean, that's what you expect from a game like SpongeBob, though, right? Bikini Bottom and all.
There's no stopping this sailor.
Oh man, that's about to hit tomorrow. Oh, it wasn't mine either, Ferret. I mean, I've watched a little bit of it, and I think it's funny. You know, I never took a deep dive into it or anything, but I think the characters are well done. I think it can be pretty funny. You know, I like cartoons, man. I like cartoons, so I'm basically a child. You know, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake is a third-person action platformer game. Players take control of SpongeBob and must travel to various levels to accomplish their objectives. If you've played the previous SpongeBob platform games, there are so many of them, the gameplay should be familiar. While platforming players have access to the usual platforming skills, such as double jumping, air dashing, other than that, there are also new platforming skills, such as the fishul swing, most likely a grappling hook, as well as the karate kick. Players must use these skills in their adventures. The game also has some semblance of combat, as you must take down various enemies in the 7 distinct wish worlds. you have to traverse. This is important, as taking down enemies also doubles in helping you move around the world. While exploring these wish worlds, the player will have a changing costume. Each costume has its own abilities, so your gameplay will change as you go from world to world. SpongeBob and Patrick are going about their usual adventures, including blowing bubbles. When they got their hands on a bottle of magic bubble soap that supposedly grants wishes, they understandably go wild with it. As it turns out, however, it wasn't just a magic bubble soap. They got their hands on a bottle of mermaid's tears, and the effects are way stronger than they expected. SpongeBob and now Balloon Patrick must do everything they can to turn things back to the way they were. Of course, they'll also have some fun with it. From the Wild West jellyfish fields to Halloween rock bottom, SpongeBob and Balloon Patrick must find their friends and return things to normal. Tomorrow, SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. Tomorrow. There you go, guys. Spider-Man 2 PS5 ad confirmed spring release date. Yeah. Again, this is being developed by Insomniac. They've done the other games for Spider-Man previously. Spider-Man Miles Morales, and now Spider-Man 2. They are also the ones developing Wolverine, right? So that's what I want. And I know there are other people that are really looking forward to Wolverine as well. There are a lot of people looking forward to Spider-Man 2. They do a great job on these games. And the thing is, you're not going to see a whole lot on the front of Wolverine until they get Spider-Man 2 released and they are able to start moving over and really focusing on Wolverine, right? Sony has started a new series of weird new live-action TV adverts for both Horizon Forbidden West and this year's Spider-Man 2. In shock news, Sony has announced that eagerly awaited PlayStation 5 game Spider-Man 2 will be released this spring, not autumn as they previously stated. Or at least that's what a new advert from Australia says, where the seasons are switched in the Southern Hemisphere. Evil Jester, what's up? How are you, buddy? Happy Monday. In truth, the new ad for the game doesn't provide any new information, but the fact is it is live action is a bit weird, especially as it seems to be part of a new series of adverts pretending to be fake news reported about various games. Last year's Horizon Forbidden West, which is getting new DLC and a VR spinoff this year, is also part of the campaign, although it's hard to tell if Aloy is live action or not, as she never looks at the camera. Although you can understand why companies made live action adverts in generations past, there really seems no need for it nowadays when in-game visuals are so good, but Sony has always been keen on them. These ones and perhaps others were apparently shown on ESPN in Australia, and they look expensive enough that sooner or later they'll turn up elsewhere in the world. Even if you ignore the live-action angle, this does seem like an odd time of the year to start a new marketing campaign, since January is traditionally one of the quietest periods of the year for video games, especially in terms of hardware sales. Unclear why Sony is doing this now, but it may have something to do with the launch of the PlayStation VR 2 on February 22nd, although the headset is not mentioned in any of these two ads and has no connection, as far as anyone knows, to Spider-Man 2. Do we have that? Yeah. Yeah, this is talking about the same thing, kind of. Let me see. Marvel Spider-Man 2 live action trailer. Yeah. Let's see if these are the same thing. Yeah, I haven't seen any actual gameplay from Spider-Man 2 yet, but these are both talking about live action commercials. Let's see these. This is the commercial from Australia. Let's look at this one first.
From PS5,
the good people of Manhattan woke up to a gift from their favorite hero as he delivered a gang of criminals on something.
Working on your game again? Sick. Hope it's going well, friendo.
From PS5,
historic scenes unfolding in San Francisco.
Aloy is the first of her tribe to have laid eyes on this scene in over 2,000 years.
this was live from PS5.
The good people of Manhattan woke up to a gift from their favorite hero as he delivered a gang of criminals.
Yeah, it's going to be the same thing, I think. But we'll make sure.
This was live from PS5. From PS5,
Historic scenes
Yeah,
unfolding in
hold
San
on.
Francisco.
So there's that one. This is the other one.
This is live from PS5.
Same thing.
The good people of
Yep,
Manhattan.
it's the same thing. That's what I kind of figured. But yeah, so they're getting some marketing out for Spider-Man. Looks like they've got the release date set for spring. Yeah. Oh, that sucks, Evil. I'm sorry. That sucks, buddy. I'm really sorry. Well, you just have to show them up. You know what I mean? Just have to show them up. Show them what's going on, you know? Yeah. 1 second, guys. Apologies. So, maybe. Yeah. Quite possibly. Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see exactly what they're presenting for that game and the lore behind it and what happened to the environment and stuff. Yeah, for sure. I can't afford to put my petrol in my car, but he bought a new gaming console. It's safe to assume that receiving gifts is everyone's cup of tea, if not all, well, most. However, Christina held back tears coming home to one, except they weren't tears of joy. She's been driving off the petrol light for 2 days straight. She explained that post-COVID had been hard for her, barely affording her half share of the rent. We've been living off credit cards for a while now, and we always pay the minimum. Frustrated mom wrote on Reddit, "We are paying off multiple medical bills from during the pandemic. We are drowning in debt, to be honest." She goes on to tell the story of coming home to her husband, Jordan, and finding something on the kitchen table. "Can't even afford gas right now. My husband took my car in the night prior to go buy some milk, and the next morning that gas light was still on," she revealed. "I came home and saw a brand new game on the kitchen table. That funny thing is, I always comment, I can't wait to be able to afford a new gaming system. I would love to play that game. But I know that in the future, I hope we can buy it." So the sight of a new unnecessary purchase infuriated her. Christina then confronted her husband, who had bought the game. "Why would you throw $60 on a game I can't even play right now?" she raged. "I'm literally driving off the gaslight, and you bought a video game," the stunned wife asked. Despite being shocked by his wife's reaction, Jordan reassured that he's going to return the item. She then pleaded that money can go towards groceries. However, the story doesn't end there. "You're oblivious to the finances in the house." Holding back tears, Christina into their bedroom and just started crying, fully crying. Like, eyes are red. "I'm about to pass out," she explained. "I saw a brand new boxed PS5 system on our bed." She runs back to the kitchen and begged to ask, "Not just 60, but 600. When you're oblivious to the finances in the house, we are so much in debt. Why?" To which her gobsmacked husband refused to answer. "What upsets me is I'm the person who does the budgeting in the house," the woman continued. "The doctor's appointments, making sure things are straight, so I'm really stressed almost all the time." I thanked him for the gesture before he sent it back. Christina explained that she's also a full-time student while working a full-time job and also juggling caring for their toddler. Dude, that's brutal. That's a lot of work right there. That's pretty brutal. "My husband works full-time also and takes over when I need to do homework," she asked the forum. AITA for getting upset for my husband trying to surprise me with a brand new PS5 when I can't even afford gas or groceries right now. She clarified that although she understood her husband had good intentions, it just wasn't right. "This economy sucks. I really appreciate everyone who sees it. It's been super stressful," she revealed. "I do feel like I manage almost everything in the house," she confessed. "And I needed to ask if I was even the asshole because I feel bad I hurt his good intentions. But, like, bro, we don't even have gas." She referred to him as bro. It's maybe like step bro. Yeah, no, you're good, fair. You're good. The mom revealed that both the PS5 and game have been returned. Furthermore, she's apologized to her husband and thanked him for the gesture. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He was trying to do something nice, but dude, that's pretty short-sighted in regards to necessities in life. You know what I mean? there are things that you have to. Yeah, dude. I just saw this title and was like, dude, I wonder what this is all about. So I wanted to read it real quick. I mean, I see the gesture there, but again, like there are necessities in life. And we're all gamers, dude. So I'm sure we all, we can see it a little bit. But, geez, food's important. Fuel's important to get where you need to go. PlayStation Plus Essential Games for February 2023 leak. Here you go, guys. We've already seen a little bit of this. But so this is a leak. It is not, take this with a grain of salt. This is not official. But what we're hearing here is that the free game lineup for the month of February includes a number of excellent titles, include the wholesome and high-speed Ollie Ollie world, which transports players to a skating wonderland filled with snazzy tricks and chill vibes. Looks like Ollie Ollie World, Evil Dead the game, which Dude can confirm is a lot of fun if you like playing with peeps. It's like Evil Dead the game is... it was free on Epic not too long back, and it was a lot of fun. It's a pretty cool little experience, man. It's almost like a more open map kind of situation with objectives. Think Dead by Daylight. You've got one antagonist for a protagonist. It's pretty deep. It's very fleshed out. It's more fleshed out like Dead by Daylight, if you ask me. You're having to go around and complete objectives, search for better loot, better weapons and items and things like that. You've got character progression. It's a pretty cool little title, man, to play with friends and stuff too, especially. So then Destiny 2 Beyond Light and Mafia Definitive Edition, all right? Now, again, these are not official, but according to Bill Kuhn, which we see leaks from a lot, these games will be available from 7 February, so the 7th of next month, to the 6th of March, all right, on PS Plus. If you need more info, I'll link this for you guys. Epic Games' Rumbleverse is reportedly shutting down soon. Wick, here you go. Here you go, buddy. All right. It is unfortunate news to hear that Rumbleverse is reportedly being shut down by Epic. The game is a unique take on the Battle Royale genre where players would fight with fists or melee weapons instead of firearms. Tom Henderson, an industry insider, we see a lot of leaked kind of info come from Tom Henderson as well, tweeted saying that Rumbleverse will be shutting down at the end of February. Dude, that's soon. The downside of attempting to be a live service game is the fact that it is kind of a real-world battle royale for games and devs. Only the strongest, most resilient, and simply the best games survive, while others fall into obscurity. Rumbleverse was popular for a very short time after its release, but failed to keep players' attention, maybe by not having interesting updates, or the idea was too novel to survive. Any developer trying to make a battle royale game needs to know that they will have to compete in the cutthroat and saturated market of this genre. Titans like Fortnite, PUBG, Apex, Call of Duty, and more have an incredible amount of resources and marketing reach, along with a large fan base. Rumbleverse, like many battle royale games, fails to compete. Yeah. Reportedly, the game will be removed from the Epic Games Store by the end of February due to its negligible player recurrence, and its servers will shut down. The few loyal fans that it had will miss it dearly. For more news, guidance, and info, click here. There you go. Rumbleverse is dead. Roughly a month left. If you ever wanted to try it, you better go try it now because it's dying. Fortnite delays highly anticipated feature. This is probably due to the Riot hacks that just happened. Fortnite fans have been patiently waiting for the release of Creative 2.0. Seems that the mode has been delayed again. Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney revealed as such on Twitter earlier this week, saying the team is now targeting March. That means the mode could even be kicked further down the road if things don't progress as planned. This is hardly the first delay for Creative 2.0. The mode was originally planned to release last month, and then was planned again for January. For now, fans will just have to keep waiting patiently. While fans have reacted with disappointment about the delay, many more have expressed their understanding. It seems that users would prefer that Epic get the mode right rather than release it when it isn't ready. From everything Epic has revealed about Fortnite Creative 2.0, it sounds like a major upgrade. There's a lot of potential. If Epic were to release it in an unfinished state, it could hurt overall perception, even if they patched it down the line. The current version of Fortnite Creative launched in 2018 and gives users a lot of freedom in what they're able to create. Creative 2.0 will see the release of a new Unreal editor, giving users significantly more options. Naturally, this has a lot of users excited to see just how much of an improvement Creative 2.0 is over its predecessor. Hopefully, Epic Games will have a lot more information over the coming months and a lot more to show about how the mode will improve on the current version. Yeah, Fortnite is currently available on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series 1, X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC, okay? This could be a result, even though it was delayed previously. Riot got hacked recently. They had a lot of their source code stolen, and they had already been very vocal in letting people know that some of their planned updates could have be affected moving forward. Updating things moving forward were going to be a bit tricky for them and could result in some delays. So this might be a result of that also. Intel is having a very bad time, business-wise that is. So premier CPU manufacturer Intel had a bad 2022 that ended on one of its worst quarters. Since the apocalyptic days of dot-com collapse of 2000, industry analysts already unhappy with Intel's financial performance are now saying that 2023 could be just as hard for the company. The company's bad end of 2022 and low projections of its 2023 earnings have knocked $8 billion off of the company's market value. To be pat, Intel is having one of those years where the red line on the money chart is going down very steeply. Quote, no words can portray or explain the historic collapse of Intel, analyst Hans Mosesman told U.S. News. Why it has happened, as the man said, is complex. The current downturn in the market for PCs is a big reason. That has led to a massive overstock of chips, and Intel's customers aren't going to buy too much until they sell those. Intel's CEO is now saying that the PC market will sell almost 100 million fewer computers than he predicted it would. Intel's multi-year downturn also comes alongside the rise of a massive rival outside the space of gamers think of. The Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company of TSMC now manufactures about as many chips as Intel does. As AMD and NVIDIA have taken shares of Intel's market in other sectors, TSMC has also risen to compete in the manufacturing sector. Still, there is a chance that Intel will do better than expected. Some analysts say just that, even as Intel CEO Patrick Gelsinger admits the company has underperformed and lost important market share to AMD. The source of this strong intel, Gelsinger, is still referring to the company's plan to deliver ever-improved chip technology and has reiterated their commitment to 5 nodes in 4 years and the release of Meteor Lake processors in the second half of 2023. Be careful if buying into some Intel stock potentially for the foreseeable future. Intel having a rough time, apparently. Thank you, Hi-Fi Rush, for coming out of nowhere. This is a very refreshing. I said this from between yesterday and the shadow drop of a game like this is very refreshing. It's something you don't see very often anymore. A game shadow dropping like this, of this quality, to be received this well and to be this highly touted this quick from the gaming community at this price point is something you don't see anymore almost at all. Most games can't get away with such a surprise release. It was nice to see someone try. Hi-Fi Rush, a game built around the concept of pure joy, was notable last week for 2 things. 1, it's really, really good. 2, it achieved that rarest of video game feats, a successful surprise release. By surprise, I mean absolute surprise. 1 minute, nobody knew the game even existed. The next, it was available to download and play on Xbox and PC. In the year of our Lord, 2023, how often does that happen to anything? Anywhere. Never. That's how often. As a result, the game doesn't feel like a breath of fresh air. It feels like gust blowing us off our feet. While I don't want to undersell any aspect of the game itself when talking about its success, let's be honest here. This game feels so fresh not just because it's an amazing game, but because it wasn't wrung dry for 12 months by a drawn-out marketing campaign. Yep. They literally did not try to hype train this up at all. They were just like, we have something we think special. Let's just drop it. You know? You don't see this anymore at all. What I'm about to say here isn't meant to directly disparage anyone working in the video game market. You have jobs to do selling video games, and in the vast majority of cases, that involves people doing very good work. Whether it's putting together blockbuster trailers or just chatting with potential fans on social media, it's a tough job, and one that in the majority of cases I completely understand and empathize with. Especially since the system within which they're operating, selling games on shop fronts obsessed with pre-orders and wish lists, demands it. But I'm responsible for making a single advertising campaign. I, like you, am on the receiving end of thousands of them all at once, everywhere we look. From previews on big sites to YouTube to Twitter to Discord, anyone interested in video games on the internet is under siege from the second we log on to the second the log off. Here's the thing. Pre-order it. Learn more about this thing. Pre-order it. Yeah. I've covered this in my Deathblood Saga pieces previously, but video game marketing always has a certain predictability to it, not in terms of specific aspects of their campaign. A AAA blockbuster obviously has a different marketing budget to a small indie release, but in the way that they can say so often, be guaranteed to leave us feeling exhausted. It's not enough that we are shown a game's world, genre, and premise. We have to be told each character's backstory, shown a lore explainer for the world. We're told how many lines of dialogue are in the script, how many thousands of hours it might take to finish, who every voice actor is. We're conditioned, and in many cases expected to, by the time of release, be fans of a game we haven't even played yet. Which, of course, is the whole point. Imagine if instead of appearing out of nowhere, Hi-Fi Rush had been subjected to a traditional Bethesda marketing campaign. Picture seeing it revealed at the Game Awards back in December. Its bright light dimmed by the weight of the bigger, more expensive games it was revealed alongside. Imagine being subjected to
emotional damage.
Psych, what's up, dude? How was the Alps, dude? Subjected to Chai's worst lines as part of the character reveal trailer on YouTube. I should have made you pay me, dude. Instead of warming to this Fry Mom Futurama-esque charms over the course of the game's opening hours, what if instead of the game being able to take so much delight in revealing its cast and world on its own terms, we'd had that spoiled for us already by a Meet Project Armstrong documentary? Sick one day, but still skied? Dude, I would have been the same way. I'm glad you had a good time, buddy. It's good to see you, man. This game's dope, by the way. It would have sucked. The game itself would still have been great, of course, but so much of the joy of discovery that has been accompanied its release, a modern-day schoolyard buzz would have been lost. To be clear, like I've said already, I don't say any of this to shame any particular work or studio or agency involved in marketing any other video game. The trees aren't the problem here. It's the forest. I'm good, dude. Day was beautiful. Was amazing. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm great, dude. I'm great. I started having a little bit of a cough. I woke up in the middle of the night last night, like coughing my head off. What was crazy is I was having a dream. I was like eating some chips, and they were really, really dry. Like these chips were like stupid dry, dude. And it was weird because like all of a sudden I woke up, dude, and I was just like, just hacking a lung up, dude. I was coughing so hard. You were nauseated, not cold or flu. Yeah, right on. Dude, like to the point like my son like came strolling into the room like checking to make sure I was okay and stuff. Yeah, not easy to ski when nauseated for sure, no doubt. Yeah, it's cool, dude. You just ski down the hill and go pizza, French fry, pizza, French fry, blah, pizza, French fry, pizza. You just, it's cool. That's what you do, That's what I always heard people doing when they were learning to ski. Whenever I was snowboarding, I always heard people going, pizza, French fries, pizza, French fries. And I was like, dude, you guys are making me hungry. I gotta go stop by the concession down there and get me some food, man, before I go back up on the mountain. Are you feeling better, though? You feeling better, dude? It would have sucked. The game itself still would have been great, of course, but so much of the joy of discovery that has been accompanied its release, a modern-day schoolyard buzz would have been lost. To be clear, like I've said already, I don't say any of this to shame any particular worker, studio, or agency involved in the marketing of any other video game. The trees aren't the problem here, it's the forest, which is what makes Hi-Fi Rush so special. It's one of the only games that could get away with this. Note, I haven't called for an end to video game marketing here or said more games should try this because the former would be pointless. It's a big forest. And the latter would be reckless advice. As much as Hi-Fi Rush feels like a remastered GameCube game and anything unlike anything else out there, it was developed by a noted AAA studio and published by Bethesda, then released on Xbox Game Pass so people could try it for free. It was blessed to be perhaps the only possible combination of style, scope, and pedigree that could afford to even try this, let alone hope to get away with it. So I don't want to say Hi-Fi Rush should be an example. I just want to say we should all treasure this game for what it is, how it came to us, because in both cases, the circumstances are as perfect as we could ever have hoped them to be, and we may never see them align like this again. Surprises are nice, but few are as nice as a good video game surprise. Weird one day thing. That's wild, dude. I wonder if you maybe ate something a little bit off that just kind of had your stomach jacked for a day or something. Dude, I've said it over the past couple of days. I was wrong. My initial reaction to the trailer for this game when we watched the showcase, when they announced this game, I was turned off by this. And my initial impression was wrong. We're playing it right now. It's been a lot of fun. And it's been very refreshing to see a game like this get shadow dropped. Of this quality, to be this fun, and to be at a price point like this, and to be a free play on Game Pass. It's pretty impressive, really. Could have been, dude. How's the crow? Crow tastes great. Cacaw. Cacaw. I mean, I think it's one of those lessons, for sure. I still stick by the fact. Well, I've said this as I've been apologizing. I mean, dude, I have no issue admitting when I'm wrong. You know, that's, dude. For me, for a three head like myself, dude, that's something you get good at this point in life. You know what I mean? But I think that's something that a lot of people in the world need to learn to be better about. Is, you know, admitting it, maybe you were wrong about something is a big deal for a lot of people. I think pride get in the way of a lot of people being able to admit when maybe they were a bit wrong about something, you know. But I have no issue with that. I'm glad I was wrong. This game's great. This game's great, and it's been a fantastic experience. I'm glad I was wrong. I will say that, and I said this previously, I feel like part of the reason I was harshly judging the trailer in the first place was being jaded by just wanting Evil Within 3 so bad from Tango, you know, and not getting that. So it put me in a spot to skew my judgment a little bit harshly for anything coming out of Tango. But looking back on it at the same time, I talk so often about wanting to see developers not get stuck in a rut of being able to only produce the same content all the time. And Tango showing us that they can produce content way outside what they normally do and do it very well. So they should be praised for that. They should be praised for that. We see it all too often. Big developers get stuck in a mode where all they can do is produce the same kind of content over and over and over. Tango's not doing that, and they should absolutely be praised for it. And random emote time, by the way. I think there are a lot of us in the channel, though. Dude, perfect, man. Feels bad, man. Yeah. Nice, Ferret. Nice sight. So there were a lot of us hanging out watching the showcase together. And I think there were a lot of us that looked at it and went, this is not appealing, though. I don't think they showed off maybe the game the right way for some of us, for it to appeal to some of us also. I will stand by that a little bit. a lot of what I saw dialogue wise from the trailer and stuff came off as very cringy to me. It didn't come off as something that was appealing to me, which turned me off also. So I will stand by a little bit of that. The trailer was kind of off putting to me a bit. The showcase for the game to an extent. So but overall, I mean, I was absolutely wrong and judged this too quickly just by an initial impression of what they showed during that showcase, and it's been a great experience so far, and I will highly recommend. Yep. And for again, what they're getting, what Luke Plunkett here, great article by the way, my friend, the author here. You don't see this anymore at all. A shadow drop like this for a game that nobody really knew was even in development. For it to just be dropped out of nowhere, not have a big hype train behind it, a whole marketing push or anything like that, for it to be dropped again at a price point of roughly $30 if you're not playing it on Game Pass, and also be on Game Pass, so people can just play it for free. I said after about 2 days of seeing reviews and everything, I was like, this game's probably going to be getting a lot of awards at the end of the year. And the fact that we had 2 days starting yesterday to fill up between starting Superfuse tomorrow, I was trying to figure out what we're going to play, and it just made sense to go ahead and try this out, because I do actually think this is probably going to be a title that ends up being in the running for some awards at the end of the year, and I wanted to make sure I got some gameplay of it in, you know. Well, that's I think your opinion, Tinwin. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Not everybody. If people already have, if people already have a subscription to Game Pass, they might not have the money to just go drop on the game. So they should absolutely just be going and playing it on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Everybody's situation is going to be different. And so I respect that opinion from you. But the fact of the matter is, the gaming industry is changing, and subscription services are becoming a big deal for us. And owning games outright instead of just playing them on subscription services is becoming a more and more prominent thing. You know, buying the game is a bigger encouragement than playing it with Game Pass. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that I agree with that. Look, this was something that they contracted out to be on Game Pass in the first place. They knew what they were getting themselves into, and so ultimately, it's they're going to see how many people are playing this on Game Pass, as well as how many people are buying it. It's not like those numbers aren't going to show up for it or anything like that. So I don't know that I necessarily agree with that sentiment. Yeah, but I respect your opinion. But they will. I mean, those numbers are still going to show. They're going to show how many people play this on a subscription platform, as well as how many people end up buying the game on a separate platform or whatever. The numbers are all going to show. So I don't know that it necessarily is going to be a big deal where you play it or where you access it at. It's still going to contribute, I think. You know. Buying the game is worth more than playing it on Game Pass. I still, I'll agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. This is the last article I have for the day. Um, 'Cause So Prime Gaming. If you guys have anything else to add, let me know in chat and we can talk about it. Yeah, I that doesn't surprise me at all, Wick. Psych, you go to the dang Alps and all chaos breaks loose. Psych, I really needed you here to keep Wick in check, by the way, dude. Wick has just been running wild around here. I already talked about Rumbleverse. Where were you at? I already talked about Rumbleverse. Where have you been, dude? Don't act like you're making smoothies or something. Were you practicing your smoothie spears dance or what? Where you been, Butterbrain? What are you doing, dude? Prime Gaming February 2023 rewards include games celebrating Black History Month in the U.S. Yeah, we hit on this yesterday a little bit. If you're not aware, look, this is what's coming to Prime Gaming in February. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Game of the Year Edition Onsen Master on the 2nd. On the 9th, we get Aerial Knights Never Yield and Divine Knockout. On the 16th, One Hand Clapping. And Bats Bloodsucker Anti-Terror Squad on the 23rd. Space Crew Legendary Edition. And Tunchi and Space Warlord Organ Trader Simulator. What a name, dude. There's also an entire list of like in-game content stuff they're going to be giving away throughout the month that you can read right here. I'm not going to read all that off for you. I'll put this in chat though, okay? So that's there for you guys. Well, yeah, I mean, I talked about that yesterday as well, Ferret. I went into depth on that concept yesterday. If I think there's a game, but that's not. I don't think that's exactly the concept that we were getting at. At least that's not the impression I was getting that Tinwin was trying to focus on there. Like it meant more for people, to the game overall. It meant more for the developer and stuff, for people to buy it outright than to play it on Game Pass. That's kind of what the concept that I was grasping. And I don't know that I agree with that. That's what I was saying. Now, like we talked in depth yesterday. Me and you talked about that exact same thing. To me, there's a big difference between a game that I'm well aware there's going to be significant in-game stuff, replayability, then I want to own that game outright. If I know that I'm only going to be getting about 10 to 15 hours out of game, I'm never going to go back and play it again, then I'm much more likely to want to play that on a subscription service because I'm never going to care to play it again anyways, right? So, yeah, I agree. That's one of those big things for me. And everybody's going to feel a bit different, right? But, yeah, we went into depth on that yesterday. But I don't know that that's exactly what Tinwin was trying to get into there. It felt like Tinwin was trying to maybe express that it seemed like it was going to mean more to the developer or the developer and publisher that the game be bought outright than played on a subscription service. And I don't know that I agree with that. Like it's more encouraging. That's what he kept focusing on, the word he was using, more encouraging for the game to be purchased outright rather than played on subscription service. I don't know that I agree with that sentiment. That's just me though. I mean, to me, it's like there are going to be a lot of people. Dude, me myself, I just bought a month of Game Pass solely because I wanted to play that game. You know what I mean? Those are numbers that are going to be shown by Microsoft as well, because they're in collaboration with Bethesda, and Bethesda's owned by Xbox. Bethesda publishes that game. Numbers are going to come out about, how many people bought Game Pass and immediately played that game right away. You know what I mean? And there are going to be numbers that come out about how many people bought the game outright. It's all going to come together for what, and let's be very, very real here. Tango sold, they bought into a contract to have that game on Game Pass, which ultimately was a big part of them having it published by Bethesda, being under Microsoft already. And all those numbers contribute. So I don't know if there's any more encouragement, from what I'm gathering, encouragement to mean from Tinwin in the game being bought outright than it is to be accessed and played on a subscription service, especially being published under somebody like Bethesda, who is owned by Microsoft. You know what I mean? But let me link this for you guys. So again, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you don't have Prime Gaming, right? And Prime Gaming, dude, I've got a plethora. I've got a significant library of games that I've collected just because I've had Prime for a long time. I always go in every month. I grab the free games. And if you don't have Prime, but you're interested in getting some of these games, look online. There are easy ways to get free trials for a month or two or whatever, and you can get some of these free titles. And they always give away a ton of in-game content for games and developers and publishers that they collaborate with. You know, whether it be their own games that they're publishers or developers of, or other games as well. A lot of Riot stuff, things like that. You know, Cappy, what's up, my friend? So just take a look at that link. You'll see a lot of the stuff in there. And it's transitioning from January to February. We're starting to see a lot of, subscription services and free game giveaways and stuff. Let's hit on this real quick too. So we've only got a few days left before Adios and Hell is Others are no longer going to be available on Epic Games. So go grab your free games here and get ready for City of Gangsters and Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. They'll never get me. You know what I mean? To start on February 2nd. All right. I'll keep reminding you guys, but get your free games, okay? That's what we got. We're going to take a beat after the news, and we're going to watch this. We've got an entire video here of Ashes of Creation. They're showing a lot of gameplay off here and stuff. We're going to take a quick peek at this. It's like 50 minutes, but I'll try to skip through it and get some good gameplay content for us here real quick before we jump into Hi-Fi Rush for day 2, okay? But you guys rock. Thank you for being a part of the news segment and ultimately being a part of this community. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you very much. As I just stated, we're going to move into our video gaming content, which will be Hi-Fi Rush for the day. Had a great day with it yesterday, and we're going to keep moving. We might finish it today. We might not finish it until tomorrow morning. But tomorrow we are going to end up, at the very least, finishing out the day if we don't start off the gaming content with Super Fuse, a dungeon crawling ARPG top-down kind of, think Diablo-esque kind of game that is going into early access on Steam tomorrow. So we'll do a Hi-Fi Rush today and possibly ending it today or ending it tomorrow morning, and then we'll be working our way into Super Fuse. Cool. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. If anybody is checking out this content or any of our other content as highlights here on the Twitch channel or VODs as VODs on the YouTube channel, and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and the rest of these amazing individuals that are part of this community whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into whatever video gaming content we have slated for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for January 31st's edition of Video Gaming News, and then we will be jumping into Super Fuse. All right?